Hey, welcome back. So, today I was gonna go over the Emancipation Proclamation. There was some interesting stuff. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff, but hopefully I picked out a couple interesting things to talk about that I liked. So, Lincoln wrote it before the end of the war. And my first thought was like, well, what is that? That's how you do it. Thank you. The book doesn't really explain in detail why Lincoln changed his position, because Lincoln's position was always he started to hate slavery more as the war went on, obviously, because he's like, well, if slavery was just over, then we wouldn't even have this war. He thought it was a moral wrong, probably for all of his life. And over time, he kept that feeling like it's morally wrong. But as president, he always said he didn't have the constitutional right to abolish it in the South. So, and then all of a sudden, the book transitions into the Emancipation Proclamation. You're like, wait, why did he change his mind? Why did he all of a sudden think that it's okay to just proclaim that slaves are free forever? So it explains it a little bit. So what happened was the South was using slaves. The war was very much... The outcome of the war was in doubt for a long time. There were points where the South was right outside of Washington, D.C., and there were a couple battles where, like, if the North lost that battle... The North always had the most people. Oh, God, what's happening? And, like, the more funds, and... The North was the stronger. And they had the more advantages. But it was the same thing with the Revolutionary War. It's like, when you're invading... Duel time. Oh god, what's happening? Get away from me. Like, the North has the harder job. They have to coerce the South into surrendering. All the South has to do is run away and just make the war too costly for the North for them to want to keep fighting it. So that's why it was pretty... When you have, like, those advantages and disadvantages, it's a pretty even fight. And Lincoln was worried about losing. He was worried about the Union splitting up. Very worried. That was his life's mission. He thought he was put on this earth to save the Union. And he started hearing reports about the South using slaves for... The interesting thing was the white people would go to war, and then the Southerners would have slaves back home who would tend to everything. And so Lincoln was like, well, if we free those slaves, if I make this proclamation and say anybody who comes to the North is free, or anybody who... It's a long history of, like, the... whatever. I'll get to that later. But, the reports were that the South were using their slaves for war and to grow crops while they were away. The proclamation was made to try and get advantage by saying the slaves come north will be free forever. Lincoln said it was a military necessity for the preservation of the Union. So that's what Lincoln basically decided. He never thought it was his constitutional right to abolish slavery. But as like the head of the military and they're in this military conflict, he said constitutionally it's my right to preserve the Union however I seem necessary or whatever in a military conflict. So I'm ready to make this proclamation. And it definitely did give the North an advantage for the South. But now I'm supposed to go back up? Or what did I do though? Go. Oh! You can't get me. Where am I going? What? I'm confused. But I killed that guy. You're dead. Wait, how do I get in there? Thanks for dropping the money. Wee. I don't know how to open that door. Maybe I should read the proclamation. I forget what it's pretty. I think it's pretty long. So maybe that's a bad idea. But I'll just read the bullet points. Slavery bad. Come up north and we'll give you a gun and you can shoot the people who enslaved you. That's a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Not sure where to go. Well, so far so good. I haven't gotten lost, but I'm assuming I have to move something with my new movie power. Maybe move something in here? No. Shoot it. No. Oh, hello. There's gotta be something down here. Oh, this is good. Was I already back here? Yeah. Oh god, I just went in a circle. Oh, maybe you just had to kill everybody, and now the door's open. Yay. Okay, cool. So so that was like something that confused me. Oh, the confiscation bill. So the thing that led up to the Emancipation Proclamation were these two slave confiscation bills, where basically Congress defined slaves as war contraband or something. So any slaves that were used as part of the war effort could be taken to the North and freed. And that kind of served as the basis. The second one served as the basis for the Emancipation Proclamation. I forget what any slave used in the rebellion was contraband and the North could free them. The second act said they would be free forever. Oh. So I guess the first one just said, like, you're free for now, but we're going to have to give this, because a really big thing that we all know is the Runaway Slave Act or whatever. That was used as a bargaining chip a lot for the North, because the North could say, like, oh, like, we're going to give you your slaves back, and so, like, don't be mad at us. See, it's a law. And the South would be like, oh, okay, like, as long as you be nice to us and you give our slaves back, we're okay. But this kind of undid all that. Uh-oh, I'm sure he'll be fine. Oh, it's the little guys with the little things. Oh. I'm sorry. This is interesting to watch, but I can't help you. Uh-oh. Where's he going? Hey, come back here. I don't want to die. Military necessity. Once the war became about slavery, the South couldn't get support from Europe. Oh, that was a big thing. Making the Emancipation Proclamation kind of made the war about slavery. Having the president proclaim something like that, I guess. I mean, I guess it was always about slavery, but the South was constantly trying to get help from Europe to win. All the South wanted was to be recognized as a separate country, and so they were constantly like asking Europe, like, "Can you recognize us, please?" Ooh. Oh, I don't like that. Get off of me! Just punts it. It's funny. I gotta heal. Thank you. Oh my god, why they got babies in jars here? What was the purpose of this before the horror thing? I mean, was this just like on the way to the cafeteria, people looking at this? This was like a regular ship. I don't know, I forget the story. Like, what were they doing in here? I thought this was just like a regular commercial vessel, and so like if people, they're sleeping, and then on the way to the bathroom they gotta like walk past babies and fluid, and like okay. So yeah, this was another point. People kind of kept yelling at Lincoln about like, why do you want to end slavery so much? Which seems kind of silly, but Lincoln kind of fought back on that point, and he said this a bunch. My paramount objective in the struggle is to save the Union, and it is neither to save nor to destroy slavery. If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it. It's pretty interesting. I think that is true. I really do. Uh-oh, what was that? Alright. Oh, get him with the things. Yeah, I don't believe, like, if the South just played nice and they were like, okay, we're gonna, if they, I don't know, if they just like communicated better with Lincoln and they were just like made some compromises, they would have been able to keep slavery, because Lincoln didn't think that he had the right to end slavery. Without the war, slavery would have kept going. That seems obvious, but a lot of people kept, and they were saying this like it was a bad thing. They kept saying like, Lincoln, you just want to end slavery so bad, you're willing to kill all these soldiers just to end slavery. And Lincoln was like, nope, I'm trying to save the Union. And I think he is right, like, ending slavery, I don't know. But whatever. Emancipation Proclamation. I proclaim. I think it was, I was looking it up. It was an executive order, so, like, obviously there needed to be an amendment for it to actually do anything. But I was just reading about the vote on the amendment. It was pretty cool. Because they needed, like, well, obviously they needed 2/3 vote in the Senate to pass the amendment, so they needed Democrats. Oh. And, like, at the last second they barely got enough votes for, what am I doing? I'm gonna reload. They got like 5 Democratic votes like right at the end, and that was enough to win. And then in the book, it's like everybody cheered. It's the best day in Congress. It probably was, like, if you think about it, the best day in the history of Congress when that amendment passed. It still had to be ratified by the states, but at that point, I think it was pretty much a done deal. Did I get the bomb thing? Oh. Should I end there? Yeah. Last day went by quick. This week went by quick. I think it's just this setup is so much faster for me. Because I got the computer right here, and I can just go click, click, bing, bing, bing. Good week, though. Man, wasn't that a good week? Let's see if I can read the Emancipation Proclamation. Emancipation Proclamation text. Let's see how long it is. Page. Oh, it actually has the pages. How many pages? It's only 5 pages. Signed, Abraham Lincoln. January 1st, 1863, a transcript by the President of the United States of America, a proclamation. Whereas, on 22nd of September of the year... Let's see how long it is. Oh, it's not that long. This is it. This is the whole thing. Burp, 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 burp. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but let's just do the bullet points. I, therefore, President Abraham Lincoln, by virtue of the power in me vested as Commander-in-Chief of the Army, and as a fit and necessary war measure for suppressing said rebellion, do on the 1st day of January, in accordance with my purpose so to do, publicly proclaim for the full period of 100 days from the first day of above-mentioned order and designate President run-on sentence, and designate as the states and parts of states wherein the people thereof respectively the following, to wit, Arkansas, Texas, blah blah blah, New York, and by virtue basically he's just saying, like, a lot of words to just say, slaves, you be free now. And by virtue of the power and the purpose aforesaid, I do order and declare that all persons held as slaves within the designated states are and henceforth shall be free, and that the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authorities thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of said persons. And I do hereby enjoin upon the people so declared to be free to abstain from all violence unless in necessary self-defense. Oh, that's interesting. And I recommend to them that in all cases when allowed, they labor faithfully for reasonable wages. And I further declare and make known that such persons of suitable condition will be received into the armed services of the United States to garrison forts, positions, and to man vessels. And upon this act, sincerely believed to be an act of justice warranted by the Constitution upon military necessity, I invoke the considerate judgment of mankind and the gracious favor of the Almighty God, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the United States to be affixed. Done at the city of Washington, first day. By President Abraham Lincoln, William H. Seward, Secretary of State. Pretty cool. I thought it said more than that, but it basically just said, slaves, you free now. But he definitely did that as a war measure. That's why he thought it was constitutional. But before he was like, it's not constitutional for me to meddle in the South with slavery. Like, if Congress wants to pass an amendment, they can, but as a president, I can't do anything. But anyway, there's your history lesson. Vault says he likes my history lessons, so I liked it. See you tomorrow.